Spotlight, the place to zoom into action, starts right now. This week on The Spotlight, Anchors Away. Networks on both sides of the aisle cut the cord with Tucker Carlson and Don Lemon, two of the biggest men of cable news.
Fox News Media and Tucker Carlson have mutually agreed to part ways.
Don Lemon and CNN have parted ways.
Did the two of them talk themselves off the air with one too many controversial statements and comments?
Electronic voting machines didn't allow people to vote, apparently.
Nikki Haley isn't in her prime. Sorry.
Joe's Go. President Biden officially announces his run for re-election and says he's not done yet.
That's why I'm running for re-election.
Will Democrats rally behind for a second term as President of the United States? And can America handle another Biden-Trump rematch?
The question Supreme is, Court Justice, radical left. Will you shut up, man? Listen, who is on your list, Joe?
Plus, Robert Gumbs of the Concerned Forum is here to discuss the hottest topics many young individuals should know before hitting the polls on Election Day, and why he thinks President Biden should have a second term in office. Also, author Angel Martinez is here to share the ways how to view ourselves in a positive light, all by looking at the face in the mirror. And Emily Dara and Chasity Feliciano are this week's guest co-hosts. Now, let's get it on and get this Spotlight party started.
Hello. Welcome to the Spotlight. Yes. I know. Joining us as guest co-hosts, thank you, is Chasity Feliciano and Emily Dara. Welcome back, y'all. Here.
It's a pleasure.
As always, here. Let's get right into this. President Biden made his official announcement in late April that he's running for a second term as President of the United States, saying that he's not done yet. Biden also let the people know what's at stake in a campaign ad, and we're going to show you the entire campaign ad by President Biden just to get you in the know. Take a look at this.
Freedom. Personal freedom is fundamental to who we are as Americans. There's nothing more important, nothing more sacred. That's been the work of my first term, to fight for our democracy. This shouldn't be a red or blue issue. To protect our rights, to make sure that everyone in this country is treated equally and that everyone is given a fair shot at making it. But you know, around the country, MAGA extremists are lining up to take on those bedrock freedoms, cutting Social Security that you paid for your entire life while cutting taxes for the very wealthy, dictating what health care decisions women can make, banning books, and telling people who they can love, all while making it more difficult for you to be able to vote. When I ran for president 4 years ago, I said we're in a battle for the soul of America, and we still are. The question we're facing is whether in the years ahead we have more freedom or less freedom, more rights or fewer. I know what I want the answer to be, and I think you do too. This is not a time to be complacent. That's why I'm running for re-election. Because I know America. I know we're good and decent people. I know we're still a country that believes in honesty and respect and treating each other with dignity. That we're a nation where we give hate no safe harbor. We believe that everyone is equal, that everyone should be given a fair shot to succeed in this country.
Thank you for choosing us.
Every generation of Americans has faced a moment when they have to defend democracy. Stand up for our personal freedom. Stand up for the right to vote and our civil rights. And this is our moment.
We, the people, will not decide.
both.
So if you're with me, go to joebiden.com and sign up. Let's finish this job. I know we can. Because this is the United States of America. There's nothing, simply nothing we cannot do if we do it together.
And after that campaign ad by President Biden, the GOP, also known as the Goop, they pooped on themselves. They wasted no time at all by responding to an attack ad that was completely AI generated. Artificial intelligence, that is. Watch.
This just in, we can now call the 2024 presidential race for Joe Biden.
My fellow Americans.
This morning, an emboldened China invades Taiwan.
Financial markets are in free fall as 500 regional banks have shuttered their doors.
Border agents were overrun by a surge of 80,000 illegals yesterday evening.
Officials closed the city of San Francisco this morning, citing the escalating crime and fentanyl crisis.
Who's in charge here? It feels like the train is coming off the tracks.
Actually, that's not true. The train is actually coming off the GOP's tracks here, and because obviously you're still kissing Fox News's behind here, and what do y'all think of this? I'm just zipping my mouth here, okay?
Well, we'll start with you. Well, I mean, David, okay. I didn't know that the creative team behind this GOP ad is acting like a startup founder, just using AI gratuitously for no good reason, because humans could do a better job.
They're acting
and
like
they're
kids.
using it like a startup founder just to attract attention and funding. Right. So that's my take on, the GOP creative team is like, we're part of the tech ecosystem too. We can use AI. We can just create everything in AI. So I just don't know why they had to use AI, but clearly it is generating some buzz.
I just feel like they're false advertising at this point.
It is false advertisement.
It's false advertisement. He's been completely quiet for 4 years. I voted for him. I did 4 years back for Biden. But in all reality, this video is really making him look really good. And to be honest, he's been too quiet. And I think he should just retire and live his best life. That's just my opinion.
The video was very schmaltzy. Yeah. Like the music, the freedom bell tolling in the background.
Boom, boom, boom.
I mean, even though it wasn't AI generated like the other shtick, it was definitely reminded me of something out of the HBO show Veep.
Right, or a commercial.
It was like a parody of a political ad, in my opinion. Yeah. Like, freedom.
They threw everything in the mix to try to make this guy look perfect. 4 years he's been super quiet, and not for nothing, I'm just hearing about him after 4 years ago. It's been 4 years already? Literally?
Since 2020.
Can't believe it. He's been ghost town. I have not heard anything. I feel like as a president, he should be loud. He should be spoken, and everybody should really listen to everything he does and, just be in the mix with him. No one's in the mix with him. He needs to get out the mix.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because he's going to be, by the time he gets to the end of his second term, he's going to be 86,
Yeah, he needs to just enjoy himself by the pool with his wife and live his best life. Like, I feel like it's too much pressure for him. God forbid, what if something happens?
Isn't he the same age as Trump, though?
No.
He's not.
He's not.
Actually, he's older. He's the oldest president.
Exactly.
He's the oldest president that we've ever had.
But Trump isn't so much younger either. I mean, they're both geriatric, if we're being honest.
45 is like 76 here. That's his age.
I'm not too fond of Trump.
But he has spunk. I mean, that's like way beyond senior citizens.
No one is.
So.
I mean, anyone that didn't agree while Trump was president, I just feel like he was loud. He was spoken. Whether it was good or bad, people heard him.
But was he loud, or was it just the media echoing everything he said? Because I think
for Trump,
yeah.
Technically, I feel like he has his own personality. We all know that he's super weird and hilarious. But at the same time, Biden has been a shadow. He's been so quiet. After having Trump, I feel like he should have pushed and been a lot more louder and been a lot more about USA. He's just not.
And at the same time, we'll be right back here, okay?
People couldn't see my potential, so I had to show them.
I've run this place for 20 years, but I still need to prove that I'm more than what you see on paper.
Today, I'm the CEO of my own company.
That's the way my mind works. I have a very mechanical brain.
Why are we not rethinking this?
I am more.
I'm more
than who I am on paper.
Put the keys down, Kevin.
But I'm gonna drive home.
There are several warning signs present that you shouldn't be driving.
My text to emoji ratio has gotten a little out of hand.
A little?
Yep, I'm definitely gonna call a ride home.
This man needs updated COVID protection. So does she. Yep, these guys too. Because COVID is still out there, and so are you. And if your last vaccine was before September 2022, you're out there with fading protection. But an updated vaccine restores your protection, so you can keep doing you. Get an updated COVID vaccine and stay out there safely.
Still ahead, Robert Gumbs of the Concerned Forum hits the Hot Topics table and shares what many young individuals should know before hitting the polls on Election Day. Then, author Angel Martinez explains the positive perspective of an individual by looking at the face in the mirror.
Welcome back. Well, wait, actually, hold on a second. I just realized something here, because I want to bring up something here that really, because, you know, Chasity and we misspoke. You asked about if Tim Scott was married with children here. He's not.
We had a long conversation about that.
Listen.
Why he isn't, but that explains.
Yes.
So honestly, it's still the same topic.
Yeah, because listen, he did, after a recent report by Mia, whatever the source is, Scott's not married. He doesn't have children. He did express a desire to have family back when he was in his 40s. In a conversation with Political Magazine in 2018, Scott mentioned that he always wanted to have 6 children and hoped his future wife would too want kids here. However, back then his focus was on caring for his mother apparently here. But you know,
Yeah, and you know what? He's bitter, and that's the reason why he's not married. He
Yeah.
doesn't have any kids.
But somehow they're saying that he has a secret girlfriend from what I heard here, because he went out on it's like, but concerning his love life, he was dating back in 2013. However, we still don't know who the mystery girlfriend is, but there you
He's in
have
the
it.
past.
But there you have it. The main thing is he does not have children. That end of story, okay?
He's out.
Yeah,
Okay.
I think I broke his windows here. All right, so on our last show, we briefly mentioned the breaking news where Fox News parted ways with Tucker Carlson and CNN parted ways with Don Lemon. It's been a cable news shakeup over the past few weeks. With the firing of Tucker Carlson, his firing came less than a week after Fox settled a defamation lawsuit for Dominion Voting Systems, which had sued the network for airing false claims that it had conspired to rig the 2020 presidential election for $787.5 million, the largest publicity disclosed monetary settlement ever in an American defamation action or American history. But with the firing of Don Lemon, well, let's just say there was some sort of blindsiding that he experienced. Some say that sources are saying that he's done many things that's led to this here, because he's mentioned about where he described the U.S. ambassador under your you-know-who, Nikki Haley, saying that she was past her prime here. He's also mentioned.
So ridiculous.
He's also has an on-air loud outburst argument with Caitlin Collins, who I'm not who, by the way, I'm not too crazy about here. Her personality just doesn't agree with me here. So, what do you think of all this media drama here?
I mean, the settlement, $787 million that Fox is paying to Dominion Voting.
$787,500,000.
This means that they really didn't want it to go to trial. And they really didn't want all the stones to be turned over. They're hiding a lot of probably even worse, illegal or things in the shadows that they don't want to come out in a trial. So if they're like, take almost $1 billion so we don't have to go to trial, I think that's pretty big.
Really
so
big.
I'm not surprised they ended up, firing Tucker Carlson, and they're probably protecting a lot of other people in this settlement as well.
I agree, 100,000%. I mean, Don Lemon been with them for 17 years.
Yeah.
Like, that's a long time. I know he's completely devastated, and to be honest, I feel like he could have fought, but maybe it's his time,
I always look at Don Lemon and Angela Rye as like the dynamic duo that could be the good co-anchors, basically,
I'm not too fond of either, to be totally honest. So, just saying, everyone has their opinion.
You have your opinion.
There you go.
But yeah, I mean, in terms of the defamation suit, I think it's a good thing for news media to be held accountable.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of high-profile defamation suits lately.
Yeah.
To name a few, the Gwyneth Paltrow skiing incident. I mean, what are some other ones you guys, think of? Anyway, like, there's so many defamation suits, the Johnny Depp thing. I mean, people really have to be careful about these alternative facts, because if you can't prove it to be true and someone sues you, give me a few $100 million.
That's the problem.
Oh, and the Trump suit as well, that was just in the news. I mean,
money
that's
talks
huge.
for everything, literally, nowadays.
Give me a break.
It's honestly tiring.
Well, I mean, I hope that these defamation suits will hold people accountable to not just be running their mouth with lies.
And stop being fraudulent, literally.
Right.
Just be real.
Right. So I think it's a good thing. I mean, of course, there's, multiple ways to look at it, and no one wants to be in such a litigious society either, but hopefully it'll be a good thing.
Give us a break here, okay? We'll be back, okay?
On Xena, our battles are make-believe and no one gets hurt. At the end of the day, we take off our costumes and we go home. In real life, domestic violence injures and kills. But you can get help, and you don't need Xena's superhuman powers. You have a weapon that she doesn't, the telephone. If you or someone you know needs help, call the National Domestic Violence Hotline, 1-800-799-SAFE. Your call will be answered day or night in English or Spanish. Xena would want you to call, so do I.
Because you said rude things about my work, I started to question my own voice.
With all the news and headlines that's breaking and happening, he's currently continuing to break it all down so that everyone, including us young individuals, are open-minded and alert of what's happening. Let's face it, many of us should take action and get our voices to be heard, as always, even as the upcoming elections approach us. So with that being said, please welcome back the host of the Concern Forum here on Manhattan Neighborhood Network, the youthful Robert Gumbs. Here. Yes. Welcome back, Robert.
Thank you.
Yes.
It's a pleasure being here with you guys.
Once again, as always, here. So we got a lot to discuss with you about because, you know, you probably saw the Joe Biden campaign ad here. Well, we're going to begin with that. Let's begin with that first because, you know, because we were talking backstage here mentioning that you want him to have a second term in office. Explain why you think he should and what versus to educate the others, because people are still not understanding about what Biden's trying to do for all of us here at the country when he's doing the best he can.
Well, sometimes I think it's kind of hard. If I wasn't one myself, well, I won't say that. But let me put it to you like this. When discussing these things here in New York, one of the problems that I notice is that people in New York, we kind of have our own bubble, okay? I've spent most of my life, my working life, in one way or another being connected to the military. Knowing how people feel about us overseas and living in different parts of this country. Joe Biden is a godsend for a lot of people. People who need employment, for example. You go down south and the programs that he's fought over Republican opposition in terms of making a lot of this technical stuff, right? He fights to have that be made here in the United States. One thing that COVID taught us is that we allow our supply chain here in the United States to basically go overseas. And some people don't understand, well, you know, why do Republicans wish to stop an American president from doing something that will institute more jobs here in the United States? And the problem is, and I hope I don't get you all in trouble for saying this, but the big problem is that you don't have a Republican Party anymore. The Republican Party that you think of, Eisenhower, Lincoln, even Nixon, right? Bush Sr., that party's dead, okay? Certain factions in the Republican Party allowed it to die, all right? What you have now, you have a neo-fascist clique, kind of like the Manson family. That's what the Republican Party has devolved to. And I loved my mom and my dad, God rest them. I loved them dearly. But I'm not one of those people that if I see a black or Hispanic person walking around saying they're Republican, I don't automatically, you know, jump on them. If I see a white person that says that they are a Republican, I don't automatically jump upon them either. But I have to ask them, do you understand what has happened to the Republican Party over the last 20 years? And most of the time, they don't, because they don't understand. Now, you asked me why I would prefer Biden over Trump. To tell you the truth, I don't understand any of this, because you have a man that says that he wants to tear up the Constitution. Now that's what I fought for.
Right.
All right. From the first time I went in the service and I raised my hand when I was 17, up until
years. Yeah, and thank you for your service.
Oh.
We have to say.
Well.
Thank you very much. Right.
You're welcome. But up until the time that I finally left the service, and well, no, I left active duty in '91, and I stayed in the reserve till about shortly before my wife passed away. So we're talking about 2000, 2001. And all the times that I swore I was sworn in, I swore to defend and protect the Constitution. So why am I going to support a guy, number one, that says he wants to tear up the Constitution? Also, on top of that, why am I going to support someone that says that, well, black people don't vote for me because they're stupid? And I love Jews in Israel, but there's a problem with American Jews because, as you know, generally American Jews vote Democratic.
Right.
There are good historical reasons for that, and it wasn't always like that. The guy that mentored me, aside from my father, who mentored me in politics was a Jewish fellow. They named a center after him downtown, Senator Jacob Javits. Okay? So I'm not, I'm not one of those anti-Republican nuts. I had a great amount of respect for Bill Buckley, not just because he was a good acquaintance of my dad, but because of the fact that when he spoke, what he said made sense, even if you didn't disagree with him. Why am I going to support a guy that, for all practical intents and purposes, he's a Russian agent, whether willingly or not? So that's why I'm a little bit confused when we talk about who are you going to support. I support America.
Yes.
Right.
Right. And I just want to get the ladies involved in asking at least a question here. So go ahead, because we're running out of time here for this here. So make it quick.
No, I mean, thank you for sharing your perspective, especially as someone who fought for our country and our freedom. You know, it's just really moving that, you're spreading your perspective, and you're doing. So I was wondering about your TV show on MNN, the wonderful network that you're watching us on right now, and how did you, come about starting it, and have you encountered, like you mentioned, we live in this bubble. So how are you kind of approaching this through your TV show? Kind of a more measured discussion about politics instead of just yelling at each other, like you're horrible, because you mentioned that during your talk just now, that it's not about just jumping on each other, cutting each other down. It's about presenting reasonable arguments.
Well, number one, I mean, if you're going to get into the thing about, like you said, you're horrible. Okay, why? In other words, just back and forth, give me reasons. And I think that's something that we have lost sight of in this country. Why am I horrible? I did a lot of editorializing on, Yahoo, and sometimes I dirty my fingers and I go through the, what's that thing Musk has?
Twitter.
Twitter. There's a new CEO of Twitter that's coming up.
Too much going on too.
Yeah. And somebody will say, "Oh, well, you're an a-hole, blah 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 blah." Okay, fine. Okay, we got that solved. I'm an a-hole. Now, can you kindly tell me why I'm an a-hole? What about what I said makes you feel that way? And when I'm dealing with conservative people, I can never get a response back. Give me a reason why. Why am I? In other words, you tell me why you think I'm wrong.
Some certain individuals don't really care why you're wrong or right. I just feel like they just want to justify their actions and not really be, a forward, because some people are intimidated. You might intimidate 1,000 people in the room without even more than a sentence. So technically, I feel this is my question to you, right? How do you feel about this generation now? Do you feel like because this generation is so out of line, because I technically feel like it is, honestly, do you feel like it's a big difference from your perspective on how you think this is going on with, even in politics?
Yeah, I do. And in some respects, that's good. It also depends, to me, on what part of the country
Correct.
you're in.
I agree.
Right?
Yes.
Here in New York, we have a tendency to be too trendy. And you gotta remember something. People in New York, I don't care what color you are, what your ethnic background is, you got it great compared to working class people in other parts of this country.
Yes,
So,
Bob, I hate to cut you off here, but we're going to continue more with Drew in just a moment.
Is this good, by the way?
Yeah, it's still good, okay? Robert Gumbs is not going anywhere here, so he's going to take a sip of water, and he's sticking around with more, because there's a lot more to discuss, so we'll be right back here, okay?
Every day, thousands of kids start vaping. So if you want to talk to your kids, you got to get it trending. I was just trying to get your attention.
Could I just ask?
Visit talkaboutvaping.org for tips on when and how to have the vape talk.
Every day, thousands of kids start vaping. And I can't let this happen to my kid. Of course, it's awkward to talk to your kids about the dangers of vaping. Hey, bestie, how sketch is vaping? It's hard to get their attention. Ready? Go. Yes, look at that. You even turn yours over. So if you want to talk to your kids about the dangers of vaping, you have to get it trending. Right, Backpack Kid?
Let's do it.
First, invite your kid to do the vape talk. Let's try this. All right.
Why is he here?
Yeah, I gotta get it trending, honey.
Come on.
To the left. To the right. Let's go.
Oh, honey, can we talk?
Yeah, what's up?
I see a lot of your friends vaping.
Visit talkaboutvaping.org for tips on when and how to have the vape talk.
We are back with Robert Gumbs, the host of the Concerned Forum. And you were just answering about your thoughts on this generation as Chasity.
Oh,
right.
well, like I said, I think it depends upon what part of the country that you're in. I see some people like in Tennessee, in Mississippi, Georgia. I see some fighters there. Florida, that's the biggest nut we have to crack. And then,
what about Georgia and the other southern states that are more like the red states here?
I think the problem that you have there is that these people are still fighting the Civil War.
Yes.
When I was stationed in Jacksonville, I remember, what was their saying? Well, we can't stand on the Yankees, but we love their money. See? And I don't think that that does a whole lot for the state, especially in terms of its infrastructure.
Yes.
Because no young person or young people wanting to start a family, why the hell are you going to move to Florida?
Yeah.
All right.
That's the thing I just don't understand. Why are they in Florida or like spending time in Florida or living in Florida? I mean, Florida could be a nice place to live, but you got to look at what's happening in the South with all the other negativity that's going on here.
I think that you're going to find more and more young people leaving places like Florida, Arkansas, Mississippi, Alabama. And when you look at the listing right now, and young people, please pay attention to this.
Yes.
Your red states, with the possible exception of New Mexico, I mean, they are in the trash can in terms of graduating from high school, in terms of literacy, in terms of health.
As well as college, too.
My God, you and your lady decide to go to Arkansas or Florida or someplace like that. Heaven forbid that she has a miscarriage or something like that. You're going to be sitting up there wondering, are they going to kill my wife to save an embryo? I mean,
or restrict abortion, because that's also what's on the line.
But I also feel that no matter what's really going by the book and what people's assumptions is and what they feel, the people, us people, individually all have our own perspectives and mental status. Like, everybody has their own way of thinking and what they feel. You might meet a nurse that might not feel that way in a Republican state. It might be a completely different individual. My family lives in Florida, half of my family, and let me tell you, they are not Republicans. So it's a matter of where you go and how you make of it. I know it sucks to say we don't have full control. You know, even as people, we are free, and we shouldn't take advantage of that because other countries is worse. But I just feel like there is some type of good people in the middle of the circle of that.
Well, people are going to have to show. That's one thing.
Yeah.
Now, I can't stand, just as an example, and you're talking about young people, I can't stand DeSantis because all he is, he's a better dressed mini-me of Trump. That's all the guy is. He has nothing but...
I kind of agree, that's good. I've never really thought about that until now.
Yeah, you know.
Wow.
And he has absolutely nothing but contempt for young people.
Yeah.
If you're not kissing his feet, he has no use for you.
And sugarcoats a lot of things.
Yeah, well, he tries. See, I can't get over the fact that you are going to do something that basically it's a woman's life. And you're going to wait until midnight to sign this filthy bill 6 weeks. My wife didn't know she was pregnant, God rest her soul, when we had our son. Had no idea.
Yeah.
Most women don't.
Yeah.
And you're going to start playing these kind of games?
That's the definition of evil right there.
Especially if you're not a woman and you don't understand what
Yeah, I'm not even, I'm not comfortable with this.
Yeah,
Right.
I'm not comfortable with it as well. I'm really
As
not.
a man, I don't feel there are, like, for example, that's something that he shoots out of his mouth all the time. Yeah, well, the Democrats, they just want to have abortion on demand. I wish I could have been there. Maybe one day I will be, because I'm planning sometime this summer or fall to try and get some kind of rally.
I feel like that
down in
stereotype.
Florida.
Oh, that's amazing. I would love to be a
I
part
like
of
to
that.
do that for a couple of reasons rather, and that's one of them.
That's stereotyping, though, don't you feel?
Yeah.
Like you. What if a Republican wanted to get an abortion? I don't understand. It doesn't make sense to me. A person's a person. What they feel is what they feel. No, everybody's entitled to their own opinion. Why it makes them a Republican or Democrat?
No. See, the problem is, look, this whole abortion thing, and I know the people that brought this crap up. You know who used to fight for the ERA?
No.
The Republican Party. Okay. You know who was pro-abortion? The Republican Party. Those damned evangelicals, those hypocrites.
Yeah, because they got money, they
And
cheat on their wives,
right, and
they
they
get other
push.
girls pregnant, and then you don't want them to have their money, so hey,
There you go.
let's go with the abortion because I don't want them to have our kid.
There
But
you
now
go.
Democrats are against not having an abortion.
That's pro-life.
That's foul.
Well, see,
Super foul.
that's what I'm trying to say. It's not a question about, so you want the abortion on demand. No, I want what the doctor says is good for my spouse.
Correct.
That's what I want, and that's where it should have been left.
100%.
Exactly. Listen, Robert, I wish we had more time with you, but the time goes so quick, you know.
Yes, it does.
Yes,
It
but
does.
yes, but you are come back anytime. This conversation shall to be continued for sure.
Unfortunately, it will.
Yes. Our special. Yes.
And we'll be with you at that rally.
Okay.
Our special thanks to Robert Gumbs of the Concern Forum.
Yes.
It airs every Saturday at 3 p.m. Eastern on Eminent's community channel. Check your local listings and at eminent.org for time and channel, and we'll be right back.
Home fire drills give your family a plan of action. In a home fire, you may have less than 2 minutes to get out. So when you drill, show everyone 2 ways out of the house, pick a safe meeting spot, and get there in under 2 minutes. Then practice home fire drills at least twice a year. You can even make them fun. So everyone knows the sound and exactly what to do when they hear a smoke alarm. Go to ready.gov/fire drill and learn how to prepare your family for home fires.
What now?
I can't talk right now.
Right, yeah, of course. Now, how'd that go for you? I'm buzzed. Gonna call a ride.
Hey.
Hi.
So many of us tend to look at ourselves in the mirror just to see what many of us are doing, how we look, and make sure we have no stains on our teeth. Yeah, we're good. However, there's actually a main reason for us to look at ourselves in the mirror, and it has to do with how we view ourselves personally, mentally, positively, or negatively. Basically, this author explains finding ways to view ourselves in a positive light, as well as how to find love, kindness, happiness, and compassion for ourselves so we can be the best that we can be for our own selves and for our loved ones too. So please welcome the author of the book, The Face in the Mirror, who apparently became a long-lost cousin of mine during the break here, Angel Martinez.
Thank you.
Welcome, welcome. I can't believe how many Martinezes do we have here all over the world?
Well, you know what? It seems to be a very popular name here in the States and in Puerto Rico as well, right?
Yes.
And maybe other neighboring countries.
It's okay. You guys are special.
Yeah.
Well, no wonder.
Special.
No wonder we fought Goliath and we're angels here, okay? So listen, let's talk about your book here, okay? The Face in the Mirror, because you wrote it because it seems like you had a difficult. Well, why don't you tell us about why you wrote this book here?
Basically my own struggles, right?
Yes.
Within myself, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it actually hit me when I was in my shower when I first decided to write this book, and as an inspiration, right? And to look within myself and the changes that I have made in my life and continue to make to this day. And I said, wouldn't it be wonderful if I can put that out there and see if other people can make use of it, and maybe I can bring some change into their lives. And going into this, and thinking forward now, it's if I could save one person, if one person could get anything, something out of there that can benefit their life, change their life, change their thinking, from depression to happiness, if I could just make one child, save one life, I accomplished what I set out to do. That's the main objective behind this book.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
Did you happen to go through any type of struggle that made you?
I went through all kinds of different struggles, and who hasn't, right?
Right,
we
correct.
All have,
we all have
right?
battles that
It's a matter of how we deal with them.
Correct.
Right? So how was I seeing myself?
Right.
I wasn't seeing myself in a positive light. I wasn't seeing myself that I could. I wasn't seeing myself that I can accomplish anything. I was depression and everything else, right? Because of the life and the things and the decisions that I was making. But I noticed one thing. We can be poor, but we have one very, very valuable thing, and it's in there. The most valuable thing that anybody can have is decisions.
Correct.
The decisions that we make can mold us who we are tomorrow. Who we are today has no bearing on who we can be tomorrow.
Correct. I feel like also with your book, it's an amazing thing because you want to manifest what you put out into the atmosphere, right? Into the world, and the energy you give, out into the universe is what you get back.
Right.
And it's important for you to always tell yourself, you know what, you are your biggest fan.
That's right.
Doesn't matter who it may be or where you might come from or how old you are. We all have goals we want to accomplish, and to look at yourself in the mirror and tell yourself, I can do it, and actually accomplish that.
Yes.
There's no limit to the sky, and there's no sky to the limit. It's beyond that. So that's very important. I think manifesting into your own self and, your own decisions is a good reflection of that as well.
The idea behind this, the biggest idea behind this is replacing that mirror.
Correct.
That we look into, or have been looking into the past. It's been telling you can't, you won't succeed. Why are you bothering going to that interview? You're not gonna get it.
Right.
Doubt. Replace that mirror.
But when you look in the mirror, it's present.
It's present.
So what matters was in the past. Because what you looked like yesterday is the new hairstyle today. So while you're looking at yourself in the mirror, it's present.
Yeah.
So it's manifestation. That's amazing.
Yeah.
Good thing.
Yes.
Good.
Thank you.
That is. Fist bump right there.
Fist bump.
Yeah.
Let's not leave her out.
Yes, and
There you
Emily,
go.
go ahead.
Don't forget me, you know.
Yes.
Well, no, I mean, is this your first book?
It is.
And, you know, how did you get your first book published, and what advice, I guess, would you have for other people who are thinking of writing something?
That's an interesting.
My second part of my
Okay.
question. Are there other
was a good
authors that
question, yeah.
inspire you? That you're kind of taking inspiration from their work or basing your, methodology
To
in?
answer the first one,
yes,
there's not a big open door for people who are just starting to publish and write. There's 5 big companies that, unless you know someone and you have agents and things of that nature, that will let you in if they like what you have. So I self-published that one, right? I also wrote another one, which is In Plain Sight, which is out also on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, all these other places, as well as this one. And my inspiration, like I said, it just came to me, but I'll have to say this because maybe in the back of my head, it was there all this time, was my father. Because my dad has 4 other ones, right? And since I was a little kid, he wasn't mentioning writing or anything like that. I knew he was doing it, but he was always telling me to find my place. And when you find your place, to just go steadfast.
Right.
And just keep going and don't look back. Set a goal, realistic goals, and turn it into volition, because yes, you can.
Right.
So your father's your inspiration as well.
My father's very inspirational
Yeah.
as well.
It's surprising that you published this book on your own. Like, how easy or difficult was it for you when you wrote this book and published it here?
And it's available on Amazon.
And it's available on
which I
Amazon.
noticed, so
And
Barnes and Noble.
Barnes and Noble, Scribd, Kobo, and a whole bunch of anywhere books can be sold, you can find these books. But as far as how difficult it is for me to write it,
and publishing it.
It was difficult to write because it was me.
Yes.
The face in the mirror was me. The face in the mirror is all of us. Right?
Yes.
And my struggles and what I did with them and how I turned my life around with the habits, changing of habits and using affirmations and things of that nature really, really changed my life.
And what information you really want to put into the world, Sometimes we are real, in between, stuck between lines. Like, should I not say this?
Right.
When you're expressing yourself, there's so
A
much
belief
to it.
system. Creating a belief system within yourself to tell you, so yes, you can, no matter what anybody's telling you. Because in life, we're going to find people who are going to tell us, you can't do that.
Yes.
You can't do that.
Right. Now listen, we want you to stick around for just a moment because we got more with you here on this, because there's another information that you wanted to share with us. We're going to give you that opportunity. Angel Martinez is sticking around with us because there's more great, interesting stuff everyone should hear and know about. And I can't believe my cousin's sticking around with us for more.
Stay tuned.
We'll be right back.
You can't sit here.
Don't add her to the chain.
It was just a joke.
Why are you talking to me?
Lame.
Loser. Weirdo.
I've said and done things before that I'm not proud of.
Just as I've been hurt by others.
The thing is, this is not who I am. And it's definitely not who I want to be.
I don't want to be cruel. I don't want to spread gossip.
I don't want to be a body shamer.
We have the power to be more.
We can create a kinder world.
It's not that hard.
We just need to stop. Take a moment.
And consider others before we speak.
And before we act.
Be more.
Be more.
Be more.
You see kids bullied online every day and want to stop it. No, you don't have to be a computer hacker to stop cyberbullying.
Not cool. Delete this.
Standing up to bullying isn't as hard as you think. Visit muststopbullying.org to learn how.
Hey, boss. Okay?
He said I'm fine.
Me the bed, see you in the morning. With the frosted Superman, but it wasn't on it. And we lost it.
You can talk to me.
It's been really, really hard for me.
With the author of The Face in the Mirror, Angel Martinez.
The other book.
Right,
here.
we were talking earlier about inspiration and who might have inspired me and things of that nature. So
we want to know everything.
Yeah. So my father, right, he has 4, right? He has Síntesis de una Visión, he's got Notas al Cartero, He's got Rendavis was God.
Wait, say that
Do
again.
you mind translating that for those individuals
Synthesis
that
de
don't
una
understand?
visión would be like a vision within yourself.
Okay.
Notas de un cartero would be letters to a mailman or from a mailman, and things of that nature. And Rendavis was God is as it is. And there's one more, and the name escapes me, even though I have it in my head. But I never thought that I'd be writing, right? It just came to me, right? But my father has showed me that a belief helped me believe for myself that I can do whatever it is I set my mind out to do. And when you find a passion, guess what? Don't let it go.
Right.
If you enjoy what you're doing, it's going to show in whatever it is that you do. You know, whether it's negative or positive.
Right.
So why not turn it into something positive and use it for some good to help others?
Right.
Yes.
Right. Now he is from a inspirational point of view, but is religious in context, right? He's an ordained minister and things of that nature, right? So that's where I got my belief system in which I can.
He's very religious.
Yes, he's
What does he practice?
He's Catholic.
He's Catholic.
He's Catholic. He's
Okay,
an ordained
great.
minister, and he's a retired CPA.
Okay.
Born there, raised here, worked here, and then went back home. He's from Bayamon, Puerto Rico, is where his name is Angel Luis Martinez Perez, and the name of his latest book is Rendavis with God.
Yes.
So I just wanted to say a word about my dad because he's very special to me.
And please explain how special he is to you.
Oh man, my father. When you have nobody in your life, and you're doing all the wrong things, and everybody's telling you to give up, why do you bother? Why do you care? He never gave up.
Right.
He just kept on knowing that one day I will come through in my own way, and that little light bulb in the back of my head, that information he had given me was not being wasted, it was being recorded, as is with all of us.
Right.
They think we don't hear. We do hear.
Mm-hmm.
It's there. It's
just
up
a
to
matter
us.
of who catches it.
Yeah, it's up to us to use it.
Correct.
But believe me, it's stored in there. And the hope is that one day I will catch on, and guess what I did? Guess what I did? Many years ago, but I did. Yeah.
Better late than never.
Better late than never. Yes.
There you go.
Yes, yes.
Listen, what I want you to give us there was a message from between these two books. Like, what is it many young individuals, our age or younger, should learn, even from your experience, from what as you mentioned about what you learned from your father? What is it that you can share with us that many young individuals should take as a lesson when it comes to how to improve ourselves better, basically?
I think the first step would be, and I think I've said it several times today, it's been belief. Mm-hmm. It's a powerful word. It's a belief system. I never had it growing up. Now, you ever heard of Covenant House?
Covenant House?
Covenant House in Manhattan?
I think, yes.
Right. If it's okay to mention that name?
I believe so.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I was there.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And what the work that they do there is they save children. They save lives. They take children off the street and they clothe them and they feed them and they give them counseling and legal aid and all that other good stuff, right? These children that were lost, right? They had no hope, right? So I was one of them. And the biggest thing I could tell people is believe, especially if you're a young mind, believe that you can do this. Believe that you could be better. Believe that today is not tomorrow.
Right.
Who you are today does not define you tomorrow. Your mistakes or anything else does not define you tomorrow. I want to go back there, and I'm actually trying to make phone calls and send emails because I want to speak to these young kids. Mm-hmm. And I want to tell you I was you. I want to tell you that you do not have to be like this. That you can be better and be anything you want within realism. Right? Being realistic with yourself. And that you can succeed and be who you want to be. The best version of you that you can be. Not for others, for yourself. And others will benefit. Your family, your mother, your children, everyone together, but you.
Right.
The best you can be.
Yes.
So I want to thank them on the air if I can. Covenant House, we're talking 30 years ago, maybe more, right? And they saved my life, right? So that's...
Wow. You're here to save others.
Yes.
That's right. And you know who else we should also thank here? That would be you, Angel. Yes. This time goes so quick, Yeah,
I do know. Especially when you're enjoying yourself. You're having fun, right?
So yes. Yeah. Listen, come back anytime, Angel. We're glad to have you more on here to discuss more, and anything else that you're working on, just keep us posted with anything here,
Yes, I have other things. They'll come
Definitely.
Up in the future.
Oh, yes. Right. Our special thanks to Angel Martinez. Listen, you got to check out this book and read it. The Face in the Mirror. It's a transformation of what the world needs now is love. Sweet love, in the words of Jackie D. Shannon and Burt Bacharach.
Belief.
Yes.
And very important.
Yes. Everyone needs to learn that this is all part of life, and we learn from our mistakes and everything
Correct.
else.
And no one's perfect. Everyone needs to always remember that.
Exactly.
Am I right or wrong?
Yeah. That's it.
There you go.
Yes.
Thank you all for having me.
Yes.
with us.
I
It's
appreciate
very
it.
touching.
Thank you, Angel. We'll be right back, y'all.
Thank you. Thank you.
Get it, slip it, cuff it, check it. Talk to doctor now and share it.
Staying on top of your blood pressure is as simple as these 4 easy steps. Self-monitoring is power.
Movies are one thing, but in the event of a real earthquake, you should drop, cover, and hold on. Visit ready.gov/earthquake, and you'll be seen as a hero by your loved ones.
Visit ready.gov today.
Right, mi cariño. So like I said, everything I learned about cooking, I learned from Grandma's empanadas. Shall we go again? Yep. Mix the beef with the onions with the peppers with the paprika with the garlic with the oregano with the cumin. Got it? Got it. Throw in the olives, stir, season, stir again, pour out the flour, roll out the dough, make a circle, drop in a fistful of filling, fold over, press down, and ta-da!
Most parenting is hard to do in just 2 minutes. But 2 minutes twice a day making sure they brush is easier, and it could help save them from a lifetime of tooth pain.
The smallest moments can have the biggest impact on a child's life. Take time to be a dad today. Visit fatherhood.gov to learn more.
Hey, so as we approach the end of this hour, we want to take a quick moment and say Happy Mother's Day to all the wonderful moms and grandmothers out there, no matter where they are. We're all early, on time, and late by saying this by the time you see this, since Mother's Day is on Sunday, May 14th. In the meantime, Mother's Day shout-outs quickly.
Happy Mother's Day, Mom. I love you unconditionally. You're amazing.
Emily?
Ditto.
There you go. Thank you for
Love you, Shepe.
Listen, thank you, ladies, for joining us. We're almost about out of time. It's a pleasure as always. Have a great week. Good luck. Be well. Be safe. Keep it real and 100. And take some time to express yourself. Have fun and enjoy the spotlight. There you go. This meeting is adjourned.
Booyah.
So,